Hi, this is Beth with Divine Me Time. I just released on April 1st, today, in fact, the alignment for this month. However, yesterday I felt called to write a new post, and I wanted to share that with you all today on account of I think it's really critical to the times we are in to have an understanding of what can I say? How religions have been corrupted. There are far too many ignorant voices speaking from pulpits, and I just wanted to clarify some things in terms of religious concepts that are easily misconstrued and misunderstood. So let's talk about the Antichrist. Now, perhaps you may have zero interest in this concept of the Antichrist, seeing it as an antiquated religious myth. Or perhaps you believe that one day an actual being will one day embody great evil. Wherever you stand on the continuum of belief, I'd like to have this conversation and speak of the Antichrist not as a person or even a religious symbol per se, but as a highly misunderstood and misinterpreted energy. So let's start with some definitions. While the term Christ, from the Greek Christos, meaning anointed one, is a title for Jesus, derived from the Hebrew Meshiach or Messiah, I think that's how you say it. Its historical meaning is anointed one. With what and by whom was this anointing? Well, this concept originally conveyed a person upon whom a sacred oil had been physically poured, such as a king, a priest, or a consecrated person, in recognition of their divinely assigned role. The anointing was done by a stand-in, so to speak, for the divine, perhaps a regal, a priest, or other person of standing. So then, knowing this, if Christ is the anointed one, then what is the Antichrist? Now we can easily draw the conclusion that it is someone unanointed. It's a false leader, king, or guru. We could even say unelected or elected by theft. Now, before you start identifying who fits this bill, as all these names might be floating through your mind, resist the temptation and continue listening first, because the thrust of this sharing is not about one or a handful of individuals. Well, maybe it is a little. It's a matter of consciousness. You may already be familiar with the term Christ consciousness. It's a modern construct used to describe a universal state of elevated consciousness, available to all humans, regardless of tradition, because it is a natural potential of human awareness. Awakening to Christ consciousness means recognizing your own deepest nature as divine. It's what Divine Me Time is all about. It means embodying the very characteristics that all great masters exhibit. It is aligning with the words of Jesus, who said, "These things and greater you will also do." But it's not about religion. Wherever we find brotherhood, compassion, tolerance, forgiveness, clarity, and peace, there is the living Christ, the anointed one. You don't have to believe in Christianity or any other religion to recognize the way of peace and truth. It's universal. It's the divinity of man. This is embodied spirituality, not religion. It is a way of living as one anointed by God, by Source, whatever name you want to use. The Antichrist, therefore, is wherever there is intolerance, a total disregard for natural law, moral confusion, disconnect, blame, supremacy, theft, and oppression. These are two forms of consciousness that don't really represent people so much as they represent ways of being in the world. The Antichrist is a psychologically twisted mindset, not a person. And anyone can have this mindset. It's a corrupted belief system. It is already walking the planet. It's not something that's going to come. It is competition, aggression, censorship, and fear. It is repression and control, greed. It is adulteration and destruction of everything that is good. Far too many people believe it is a person and are quick to point at those who may have opinions counter to their own or who even actually exhibit sociopathic tendencies. But they do so without, at the very least, making an assessment of their own secret tendencies. It is always easier to see evil externalized in the world, more difficult the challenge to see how it expresses itself through us, in our own pettiness, small-mindedness, resentment, and hatred. The danger in that is we completely miss the greater picture and perpetuate the projection, becoming powerless to temptation, to use another rather religiousified word, and yes, I made religiousified up. Antichrist consciousness doesn't discriminate, even though it inspires discrimination. It can occupy a person, a neighborhood, a church, or a nation. In fact, it already does, and it is rampant. It is said that the Antichrist ushers in the complete destruction of the world. Who can deny that is happening at an accelerated pace? I promise you, if you still only see it out there, your eyes are not open. So what's our duty? What's our choice? What is the answer? There are good people everywhere with an inkling that things have gone terribly wrong, and they are doing what people have always done to set things right. But I don't think petitions, protests, rallies, and marches are the answer. The battleground is inside, and it requires honest shadow work and practices that shift our consciousness into Christ frequencies. Only then can we come together again awakened and more effortlessly bring about the purification of what humanity has created in ignorance. This Easter, may the Christ rise in us. Thanks for listening.